So you just finished your first YouTube video that you've ever filmed in your life. Now, you don't know how to edit it. What is the right way to create a YouTube video? Dope. What's up? My name is Danny Matthews. Welcome back to a brand new video. Today, I'm going to be going over all the basics for a YouTube video to help you edit your first YouTube video ever. I'm tired, so I'm just going to sit back and do it from here. Hopefully I'm in frame. I think I am. I'll check it later. There's a couple things that you have to keep in mind when editing your first YouTube video. If you didn't write a script for your video and you're just kind of free roaming your video, make sure that you have a concise path that you're taking for your video. And this is what you're going to do in the video editing stage, is you can take out things that you don't think actually follow up with the whole what you're trying to teach or anything like that. So this goes into the whole thing of jump cutting. Jump cutting is very important in YouTube and it's very widely used, but you're probably wondering why. Jump cut is something that can get rid of all of the awkward moments and all the awkward pauses in a video. Like that. I'm not going to want this awkward pause in my video, so I'm going to cut it out and do jump cut. Again, doing jump cut keeps audience engaged with your video and you can get to the point. So creating a YouTube video is very simple. You don't want to overthink it. You want to create something and have a story to it and just entertain. Now, if it doesn't really have a full out story, entertainment is your key. You have a path, you have a starting point, and you have an end point. You want to start at that point. You want to start in the front, where you introduce some information that takes them all the way to the end. And the reason you want to make sure not to tell all the information in the beginning is because you want to make sure that you hold that retention through that whole video. And this is where it's very important when you're editing a video, is you don't want to give out all your information in the beginning. You want to pace it out and do step by step. And a lot of people, you might see this in videos, why they have things at the end and they say, hey, stick around for this at the end. Or, hey, we're going to go from the top to the bottom of the most important and say, hey, we're going to talk about the top 5 iPhones and we're going to talk about the worst one first, stick around for the end to see which one is the best iPhone. That is the same concept you have with any type of video editing when you're on YouTube. So take this into account when you're editing yours. Another tip with this is make sure that your audio is clean. If you don't have a microphone or you're just kind of doing whatever, you can use your phone with the voice memos, which voice memos on here are actually not that bad. And you can actually edit it in Adobe Premiere fairly well. So making sure that the audio is good to go and that the music is not overpowering it if you have music in your video. Moving on to the music aspect of it, music is very important to have in your video. Having music adds a little bit more to the scene, gives it a little bit more fullness, as well as it just kind of creates the mood that you want the viewer to experience. Something that's going to be more upbeat and happy obviously is going to feel more upbeat and happy. Something that's more dark and cinematic is obviously going to feel a lot more cinematic in voiceover and I'm watching a movie. For example, hey guys, how are you doing? Today we're going to talk about the top 5 iPhones on the market today versus, and there is the top 5 iPhones. Number 1, starting with the iPhone 12. You can see the difference between audio and how you can make people feel in a YouTube video. So again, keep this in mind when you're creating your video. What is the overall vibe that you're trying to give off? Lastly, how people visually see your video, whether there is graphics or color grade. These are the last 2 things we're going to talk about. That's kind of the last final thing that you're going to look at when you're on your video. A lot of people like to make graphics, whether that's in Adobe Premiere or some other software. And these graphics consist of a lower third where it just says your name and like who you are, maybe has like an Instagram handle, and there's sometimes like a subscribe graphic that comes on here and there that you'll see in my videos. I also have. There's a bunch of other graphics that you can have in your video, and it's really to help the audience, the viewer purposes of what, to help understand the subject that they're talking about, or to give some information that is additional on top of this video, and just kind of like, hey, subscribe to my channel. And this is something I don't have to tell you is, hey, subscribe to my channel, when I can just have, it's gonna be over here, just have this graphic that says subscribe. It's also to call to action, because when people are watching your video and they're like so enticed and they're watching it and they really enjoy you as a character and who you are and your content, and all of a sudden they just see the subscribe and they're like, oh yeah, you know what, I should subscribe. And that's why you create that call to action. Lastly, moving on again with that color grade. Color grade is really important to have because it's going to have, your viewers are going to be watching this, and when they see something that's just like not pleasant to look at and pleasant to watch, why would they continue watching it? Yeah, they'll probably continue because maybe you're a cool person to watch and you're entertaining, and that's awesome if you have that going for you. But why not help them? Why not help them with the experience with a good color grade? Anything you can do to keep your audience sticking around and watching more of you is very important. And again, these are all things that you got to take into consideration when you're editing your videos. So to recap real quick, make sure you're getting to the point by editing and cutting out all the silence and not just making the video linger on where it doesn't help with the pacing of the video. Second, making sure you lay out all the information in the correct way and have a clear flow and thought process through your video. Moving on to audio and making sure that the audio audio is very important in your video, and that you select the music if you choose to have music and how you display that, as well as with graphics and a good color grade, and putting all this together to create your perfect YouTube video. If you guys are struggling with some of these things and you're trying to learn how to even do these, I have a channel that is just full of information that will help you guys with this to create those assets that you might need, or how to color grade and just edit in general. So make sure to check out one of these 2 videos if you need some more help with information on that. And if you guys have any questions whatsoever, go ahead and leave it down in the comments below, and I'll get back to you guys on that ASAP. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.